Super Mario 64. Challenge runs! You know it, I know it, everyone and the mother's done one of these. From no coins to no jumping to no A presses, there's not much left that hasn't been done. And I'm here to scratch one more off the list with the handy wheel I've got here. Okay, sure. The Z button. Some of you may be asking, what's a Z button? Fucking moron. Idiot. The Z button is the button on the back of the controller that allows Mario to ground pound, long jump, backflip, crouch, crawl, breakdance, and slide kick. To help prevent me from pressing the Z button during this playthrough, I've bound Z to this giant button over here on the other end of my desk. And keep in mind, if at any point I press the Z button, I'll have to reset the run. So enough chit chat, we have a long way to go, so let's get started. Fuck. This is gonna be harder than I thought. This reset cost us a lot of time, but we can recover. Let's head into Peach's castle and into Bob-omb Battlefield. Starting off, we'll have to fight off the cruel tyrant King Bob-omb. This isn't too difficult without the Z button, as you only really need to throw the big baddie around. After that, let's grab our first star and be on our way. Next is Koopa the Quick. This star is actually pretty easy if you know the secret route. This is gonna be harder than I thought. Normally, with access to the Z button, we would have been able to long jump right up this slope, but now we'll have to pull out an even secretive technique. Not a lot of players know this, but if you go into this patch of flowers and stand still, Mario will teleport across the map. This allows us plenty of time to win the race against this resolute racist. For our next star, we need to get behind this cage, and to do that, we need to free this poor restrained Chain Chomp. This is gonna be harder than I thought. We're gonna have to pull out a niche trick called Bomb Clip to get this star. After some careful maneuvers, we're able to squeeze through these bars and nab another star. After this, we're gonna grab a few more stars while we're here. And then we're off to Whomp's Fortress. For the first star, we're gonna have to take out the King Whomp at the top of Whomp's Fortress. This will be pretty easy. This is gonna be harder than I thought. Alright, so instead of taking out this guy, we're gonna have to grab a star real quick from somewhere else. Now that we got that out of the way, let's head to Cool Cool Mountain to grab a quick star by returning this penguin back to its mom. Check this shit out, I saw it in a speed run once. Oh shit. So, now we've got another star, and we're headed on to Jolly Roger Bay. There doesn't really need to press the Z button while swimming, so we're probably just gonna skip over the stars we grabbed here. And with that, we can head off to the first Bowser stage, where along the way I'll be grabbing some red coins. After a flawless Bowser fight, we can make our way to the basement, but first, a quick pit stop to grab the wing cap and the star along with it. Heading to the basement, we'll be needing to grab quite a few stars while we're down here, so I'll probably be moving around quite a bit in these stages. Starting with Lethal Lava Land, we'll grab a couple stars here. Next, we'll be heading to Shifting Sandlands to grab a star there. And then we'll be headed to Hazy Maze Cave to grab a couple stars from there. This is gonna be harder than... I just went the other way. After grabbing a few more scattered stars around the basement, we'll be making our way back out of the castle basement to go touch some grass. Take on Big Boo's haunt! I can't lie, I don't remember the last time I fought a Boo without using ground pound, so it took me a while to remember how to do it the intended way. But after a fruitful ghost hunt, we grab our first star of Boo Boo's haunt. Alright, the rest of these stars are pretty boring. Skip! And with that, we're off to fight Bowser again. Another perfect Bowser fight with no issues. And we're off to the upper floor. Hey Mario, stop for a second. Thank you. Quick heart to heart, everybody. I don't know about you, but I'm getting really bored of this challenge. You can get like all the stars in the game, even if you don't ground pound. Cause let's be honest, that's the only move that really matters in this challenge. Listen, I can just go back to the wheel, spin it again. No, you're right. Let's just finish up what we started. A bit more expedited though, because I'm ready to be done with this. Wow, look at him get all those stars. I wish I could get that many stars. Dang, that's like 20 stars. Without the Z button. It really wasn't. Alright, 50 stars. We're off to the final floor. We've almost reached the end of this challenge. So I wanted to take a moment to thank you, the viewer, for watching the video up to this point. It's been a real challenge to get to the end here. We've had to pull out a lot of neat tricks, even had to start from scratch. And I'd like to take this moment also to apologize to Koopa the Quick for what I said earlier. I called him a resolute racist. I meant that in the term that he likes racing, not that he is racist. He is not, well, he could be racist. I can't speak for his character. Oh, we're fighting Bowser now. That was quicker than I thought. Anyways, it's finally time to end this once and for all. Let's climb the final challenge and take down the Koopa King. And with that, we've successfully beaten Mario 64 without pressing the Z button. After a long-fought battle through trials and tribulations, Mario has... Wait. Hold on. Is that even Mario? Well, of course it is. Red hat, overalls, 1,000-yard stare. But what I mean is this our Mario? Rewind the footage. I need to see something. There. Right there. You see that? Mario teleported. The ship of Theseus is a philosophical paradox that was proposed by the Greek philosopher Plutarch. In the hypothetical scenario, Theseus, the Greek king of Athens, used a mighty wooden ship to sail the Mediterranean Sea. Over time, this ship would become victim to wear and rot, and to fix this, when a plank would rot and wither, it would be removed and replaced with a fresh plank of wood. Eventually, every original board of that ship will succumb to rot and need to be replaced. By the end, not one board of the original ship would remain. Could this ship still be called the Ship of Theseus? What makes this ship the Ship of Theseus? And more hypothetical, say every rotten board that was replaced from this ship was restored and reused piece by piece to create an identical ship to the original. Now, there are two ships. Which ship could be considered the original ship of Theseus? Star Trek is an iconic science fiction television show about a crew of humanitarians that travel the stars in the name of peace. Like all sci-fi stories, the world of Star Trek is surrounded by fantastical technologies that a viewer could only see in these fictitious stories. From faster-than-light travel to the outlandish concept of handheld communication devices. One of these fictional technologies has sparked many debates similar to that of the Ship of Theseus, the Transporter, a teleportation technology used in almost every episode of every version of the show. It is shown to make the user disappear in front of us and reappear in a targeted position in only a moment. However, how could this technology work? Star Trek is in a world built off of supernatural or magical properties, but futuristic, albeit fantastical, technological advancements. It is explained that a user is converted into an energy pattern, known as dematerialization, and reformed at the designated position, known as rematerialization. In 1984, Derek Parfit proposed a question in his novel Reasons and Persons. In the scenario where one is dematerialized and recreated in a new location, is this recreation truly the same person as the one who entered the transporter? How would we be able to know? The person exiting from the teleportation would be identical in every way from the one who entered, from hairs on their head to the memories in their mind. One of the best explorations into this theoretical scenario is, in my opinion, the game Soma, created by Frictional Games, the same developers of games like Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Oh shit, I have a bag of Milky Way.
In Soma, the protagonist we play as, Simon, undergoes an experimental medical scan to help treat his severe brain injuries. During this brain scan, Simon wakes to find himself almost 100 years in the future at the bottom of the ocean after the near extinction of humanity due to a comet hitting the Earth. It is discovered throughout the story that the original Simon had died, and we are now a digital copy of Simon's consciousness and memories. If we're a digital copy of Simon, does that make us any less Simon than we were before? What would we say about that if the original Simon was still alive? Back to Star Trek. In The Next Generation Season 6, Episode 24, titled Second Chances, the crew of the Enterprise traveled to a ruined research base to retrieve data left there after an evacuation was needed with the help of a rescue team, headed by then Lieutenant William Riker. Riker was the last to teleport out of the evacuation and was promoted to commander due to the heroism shown in that mission. Commander Riker was sent back down to this research base to retrieve the data left there. Upon entering the facility, it is discovered that there is another William Riker that was left alone on this station for 8 years. This Riker, still considered a lieutenant, failed to teleport out of the research base and was left stranded. It is theorized by the crew that when Riker attempted to teleport back to the ship, his data was both sent to the ship and reflected back to the research base, leading to two Rikers being materialized. The question remains, who's the real Riker? Is it the one who failed to return, resulting in him remaining on the base for 8 years? Is it the one who successfully escaped the base, continuing a successful career in Galactic Federation? Could it be neither? Could the original Riker have been gone for decades at this point, destroyed during his first ever use of a transporter without ever knowing? Look at the way Mario dissolves into nothingness. It's a very similar case to how a transporter works, dissolving a person into information to send to another location. How can we be positive that this is the same Mario we started our quest with? Are we just following an imitation of our heroic plumber this point forward? Were we even the ones to collect any of the stars we earned in this challenge? What makes Mario Mario? Can we truly say that Mario was able to collect the necessary stars to save his beloved princess when he was brutally sacrificed to allow a copy of himself to succeed where he was left behind? Did we only ever truly collect one star, defeating King Bob-omb atop the mountain? I'm left asking these questions in circles like many philosophers before me. But, to make a long story short, Can you beat Mario 64 without pressing the Z button? I don't know.